Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple-species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today. The fishing news is brought to you by Okuma and the Reel Seat at 707 Union Avenue in Brielle. Gear up for July fluking with Reel Seat fluke rigs, Nantucket deep water teasers, leaders, bucktails, jig heads, rods, and reels. A proud sponsor of the Point Pleasant Elks Fluke Tournament.
On the road again this week to Washington, D.C. to talk fish with members of Congress. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. Quick stop on the way back from Washington, D.C. here at Kent Narrows, right here on the Chesapeake. You know, we're finding out from our reports this week, actually, there's a pretty darn good striped bass bite along the bridge structure here. Finding out some folks that are live line and spot, and also throwing top waters right around this time. This week, D.C., last week, of course, Orlando for ICAST 2017. We're chatting up with our video crew all week last week and talking to some of the latest manufacturers about their new products that are coming out later in 2017 and also early into 2018. Now, I hope you're enjoying those daily email updates. It's our new product showcase presented by Trophy Tackle. We're running that every single day through this Saturday. As a matter of fact, we shot so much video down there in Orlando, Florida, that we're probably going to carry this over every Thursday with this video forecast, probably through October. This week we're doing all the best of show winners. In fact, on the summer flounder front, we got an exciting one coming on Friday. Social media was on fire this week after the new product showcase in Orlando, Florida last week for that $40 bucket that was a best of show. But you know what's funny? Nobody was talking about this one. It was a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket that retails for $120. They called it the 5-gallon bucket on steroids. I call it jumping the shark. In fact, the folks at Reel Seat in Brielle, they've been having a little bit of fun with that. They're talking about their $5 5-gallon buckets for you guys on the Bucket Brigade. You might want to check that out. As a matter of fact, the buckets of bait certainly working along the jetties as we get into that summer variety, starting from South Jersey, especially where we start to get those summer visitors first. The Gatone family, they found some triggerfish and also some short striped bass on the jetties of Avalon. That was according to Dave and Tammy at Avalon Hodgepodge. Spoke to a couple of spear fishermen. They're reporting sheepshead in the inlets as far up as Manasquan too. So if you want to target some of those sheepshead, now's the time to do that. Get in there with the crabs, also the clams. You know, these aren't those little sheepshead that you're used to maybe in Florida. We're talking about some jumbo sheepshead, so definitely worth a shot. Of course, you've got the fluke at the jetties as well, in the sloughs and along the sandbars, hitting gulp on jigs and bucktails from Delaware all the way up along the Jersey shore. At night, in fact, if you're going to catch some of those kingfish in the wash during the day, again, save those kingfish heads, especially Long Beach Island and up along the seaside beaches as well. We're finding out more of those sandbar sharks, those brown sharks, and also sand tigers on the night bite. Don't forget, you got to let those fish go. Be careful with them. And they are in there as well. We're finding out, too, those big rays. I was out bucktailing for fluke on a jetty, in a jetty pocket last week, over the weekend, and in that clear water, you can see those sweeping butterfly wings of those cow-nose rays. As a matter of fact, Frank Jock alone, he checked in with Betty and Nick's with one that he had while fluking. Now, in the past few weeks, we've also had some strange reports. In fact, somebody posted it at our YouTube page, heard of some tarpon caught by some of the bunker netters. Also, some reports of Portuguese man-of-war in some of the inshore waters. You know, maybe we get some of those fingers of the Gulf Stream and pushing in closer to shore. It's a good idea for you to keep an eye out for those strange things like mahi inshore, some of the lobster pots, inshore mid-range weed lines. Last year we had some mahi reported in Manasquan Inlet. Certainly worth looking around for. You never have any idea what you're going to find in the saltwater. Cobia as well. I know some guys in South Jersey historically have located, they go to those sea buoys at first light, throwing black bombers, live eels, but definitely be on the lookout, central South Jersey, for some of those big logs on the water. You might find some of those cobia lurking on the mid-range and sometimes inshore grounds. Rather slow fluking when we compiled our reports this past weekend. A lot of slow fluking reports, although we did have a registered doormat, a registered 10-pound, 12-ounce doormat out of Atlantic Highlands. That went to Nicole Ruggiero. Weighed that in at Fisherman's Den North. She was using a high-low rig, snapper blue, with a tsunami glass minnow. I got to advise you to look for those glass minnows. They make a great rig for the teaser. If you're working in the back bay, they're also fully functional. If you're in the shallow water and you don't have much of a drift, you can use them all alone. But we are down looking towards the home stretch on the fluking season in our area, so definitely get in there and get on it. And now we're finding some of that deep water too on the Raritan, those bigger doormats like that doormat before for Nicole. In fact, if you're on the hunt for doormats this weekend, you might want to consider the Grandpa Savino Fluke Tournament. Separate Calcutta, $25,000 to the top fish over 13 pounds. 13.01 pound fluke could get you $25,000 in that Grandpa Savino tournament this week. You can check in at the Real Seat in Brielle. Also go take a look at situnaclub.com for all the details. Offshore, of course, you've got the White Marlin Invitational coming up. That's next week. It's July 25th. That'll be the kickoff. The White Marlin Invitational presented by the Beach Haven Marlin and Tuna Club. Go over to thewmit.com for information. Now, if you're looking to go offshore for meat and not money, don't forget that bluefin bite. Central Jersey and South Jersey as well, off Delaware at the Hot Dog, but you've got the Texas Tower and the Bacardi. Slowed up a little bit last weekend, but you're still getting into some of those bluefin. Of course, if you want to go on one of those offshore tile fish trips, the Big Jamaica running every Sunday for those big tile fish. Don't forget too, on the wrecks and snags, you got our tog limit back in New Jersey. Well, we got one fish. One fish bag limit is better than nothing, so you definitely have an opportunity to get in on tog. And the porgy bite, if you pick up this week's edition of the Fisherman magazine, you'll find the porgy bite is pretty darn good. Any of the rubble structure in Raritan Bay, the tin can grounds, and they're spread out through some of the rubble and rock pile in Central and North Jersey. Again, pick up the details in the Fisherman magazine this week. It's available to you subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, I would encourage you to do so. Go check it out, all the reports. Tell you what, I'm going to see if we can I'll get rid of this collared shirt. I'm going to see if I can make a couple of casts here for these night stripers. Until next week, my friends, catch them up. We'll see you here at thefisherman.com.
Win the incredible Steigercraft 21DB Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200, in the ultimate season-long multiple species subscriber-only fishing competition, the Fisherman's 2017 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Go to thefisherman.com and enter today. The fishing news is brought to you by Okuma and the Real Seat at 707 Union Avenue in Brielle. Gear up for July fluking with Real Seat fluke rigs, Nantucket deep water teasers, leaders, bucktails, jig heads, rods, and reels. A proud sponsor of the Point Pleasant Elks Fluke Tournament.